Welcome, everybody, to the Lucas Oil IHBA Drag Boat Racing Series Season in Review. Talk about some spectacular racing that happened all year long. Well, if you missed any of it, we're going to bring you all the highlights right now. Ken Stout and Alan Reinhardt with you. 4 categories to cover here today, and it's going to be exciting, we promise you. At the end, we'll cap it off with Top Fuel.
When the boats do what they're supposed to do, it's awesome to watch, but it doesn't always go as planned. Let's go to Red Bluff, California, and let's go to Top Fuel, one of the scariest rides of the year.
Yeah, keep in mind, Dale Ishimaro had already run 263 miles per hour, which is the fastest pass ever recorded, and then, unfortunately, this happened. A devastating wreck here for Dale Ishimaro. The good news is he is recovering, will be absolutely okay to climb back inside of one of these things and try it again.
Watch what happens here as the boat gets out of shape, turned sideways, the motor's out, the capsule's out. They're designed to do that. The capsule is a little pod that's supposed to keep the driver safe and get away from the boat. And the other side, Wilson wasn't exactly having a fairy tale run either.
But as it turns out, it probably was a very good move. As you can see, Dale went flying back behind him. Dale Ishimaro had been going 217 miles per hour at half track in the previous run. That's how fast those things go at the 8th mile.
So a scary moment to start off the season. And team owner Eddie Knox knows that they'll be back.
Eddie, you guys came out, Red Bluff, California, hot weather, cold water. Dale Ishimaro sets a speed record at 263 miles an hour. You guys need to come back and back it up. What was going through your mind early that afternoon?
Well, like you said, it was the most phenomenal pass yet in boat racing history, and we were really excited about it. It was obviously our best runs also. We went on a little limited budget, as do a lot of guys. After that pass, we banged the blower a little bit, hurt the motor just a little. We come with limited supplies, so we decided to park it for the afternoon. The next morning, we weren't really going after the record to back it up. We're there to win the race, and even conservative, that thing was so hopped up and running so good. And the end result is we win a couple of rounds, and obviously you've seen what happened at the end there. And it is disappointing. Like you say, we had the highest of highs on Saturday, fastest boat in history. Dale's the fastest driver in history. He was current world champion, and then for the next day, for things to go bad like that, it was really shocking.
So then you have to go back to the race shop, clear it in your mind, pick up the pieces. What's in store for you guys now in 2008?
Well, it took us a little time and we're still not over that, may never be over that. So we were a little sore for a while, and then Dale, convinced us to get back up on the horse and get out here, because this is what we do. And so for next year, we have Bad Boy Power Drink coming back. We're bringing on Centurion towboats and Redline Oil. We have so far a 4 to 6 race schedule planned, and we'll see what happens from there. There's a good chance we may go after them, regain the championship again.
In the Pro Modified category, you always expect great racing, and that's exactly what you get, because they have huge fields. The competitors are extremely tough, and Vic Esposito and Sean Reed would kick things off right at the beginning of the year.
We didn't know at the time. We were watching a preview of the entire season. This round went to Sean Reed, and these two would battle for the championship until the last day of the season.
Those same two guys that also met each other in the finals of the first race of the season, with Sean Reed coming out on top. This time in the final was Sean Reed and Brian Dunn. And again, Sean Reed would bring home his second consecutive win of the 2007 season. The first 2 races in the books, and Reed had everybody chasing him in Division 1.
As we move on to Chowchilla, California, Vic Esposito and Sean Reed. Stop me if you've heard this before. Sean Reed this time lights the red light, and Esposito gets a little revenge and starts trying to claw his way back into the point standings.
Going on to the final, by the way, a perfect number there, 7.000 that Sean Reed wasted. Ryan Baxter would line up next to Vic Esposito in the final. Baxter missing the ball just a little bit. Vic Esposito took advantage of it and brought home his first win of the 2007 season and said, "I'm here for the run at the championship."
Down to Marble Falls, Texas, in the middle of the summer, a spectacular venue. Sean Reed and Randy Benson. Benson tattooed him on the starting line, and for Sean Reed, this was going to be a short day.
Randy Benson with a great 2007 effort as well, eventually brought home the Division II championship as he beat Sean Reed here.
1/10 of a second hole shot. That advantage at the starting line allowed him to ease off and still keep the boat out in front at the finish line.
We've said it many times, you have to be good enough to race both ends of the track here in the Pro Modified category with a 7-second index. Now we move on to San Diego, California. We put them in the salt water. We get some great traction here, and Brian Dunn and Ryan Baxter are going at it. Ryan Baxter making a charge right here at the very end would bring home his first win at a national event the 2007 season. 7:04, 168 miles per hour.
Better on the tree and better on the track. On to Firebird International Raceway, the World Final. Sean Reed, Scott Loomis. Let's line them up and turn them loose. 7 thousandths of a second. Reed lights the red light that he had earlier in the day, locked up that championship.
Vic Esposito had a bye run into the final of this particular event, where he would eventually face off in the finals against Scott Loomis. But before that, Scott Loomis had to take on a very tough Teresa Ward, who had spectacular numbers in the previous round.
Watch the numbers down here at the finish line. Teresa was a little tardy on the starting line and threw away a 7 flat. Loomis runs for the title.
Now in the final, Vic Esposito, Scott Loomis, two veterans from Division I going at it. Double 01 reaction time for Vic Esposito, and it looked like he had Loomis on the ropes, but not to be.
Loomis would not be denied. Another near perfect run at 7:01. He qualified number 1 and ran the table in Phoenix.
One more look at this. Keep your eyes on the boat in the near lane. Just skinnying by 1/1000th of a second, but the light stayed green. On the other side, another spectacular reaction time, but it was the better of the two numbers at the stripe that went to Scott Loomis, and he brought home the World Finals trophy.
Sean, 2 years in, you get a championship. What about 2008, your third year? Are you coming back to defend?
You know, that's been talked about already. You know, I'd like to be back. You know, I've done this thing for 2 years now with no sponsors, not even a spark plug sponsor. So, you know, being champion of Division I and also in the CDBA up in Oregon, I'm hoping to get a little bit of help out here. So, if I do, we'll come back and we'll defend it.
Your 2007 Pro Modified Division I champ is Sean Reed. Congratulations to him. We'll take a look at how the points shook down after 7 of 7 events. Then eventually we'll go on to Division II. Congratulations to Randy Benson. Sean Reed also there in second place. Vic Esposito in third. And in Division III, it was... Welcome back to the season in review with the Lucas Oil IHBA Drag Boat Racing Series, and some of our proudest out here representing what they do as well. And we'll go into the top alcohol hydro category. The alcohol-fed machines can run some spectacular numbers, and when you put them in cold water, like Red Bluff, California, that's exactly what they brought us. Darren Crystal and Kent Price.
Kent would serve notice that he'd be tough all year, and Darren would give us a big scare.
Yeah, right at the very end of the run, things got really ugly. You can see the capsule did come out of the boat. It did its job, floating upright right there. Crystal would be okay. We'll have another look at it here.
This one got in trouble early. You see it sideways, rudder, get back, and finally it got away.
The engine obviously breaking away from the boat like it's supposed to. The entire hull breaking in half was a scary moment. But again, the capsules doing their job. Next up, Kevin Kinsley and John Swanson.
Kevin Kinsley had a very busy year, racing on the water, racing on the asphalt, and I think he even raced skateboards on one-off weekend.
Yeah, he just might do that. That guy would race anything. By the way, that pass of 5:31.5 for John Swanson was the 9th quickest pass ever recorded in the category. This time he lines up next to a champ in Gus Ward.
That's a wild ride, but Swanson hangs on, 5:46, 189. He would win the race, but would not be around for the entire season.
Next we go to Chowchilla, California, where Kent Price would start an amazing streak. 6 events left in the 07 season, and he would be perfect in final round appearances, starting with this one.
John Swanson broke his boat in the semifinals, was a no-show, but Kent Price was serving notice.
Next, we'll go to Marble Falls. Again, John Swanson and Kent Price. John Swanson definitely had a bad boat. A good 084 reaction time. Kent Price all over the place on the other side, just trying to hang on.
Swanson's 5:58 at 215 would put him in the winner's circle for the final time this season.
Now we go to San Diego, and again, it would be Kent Price this time lined up next to Bob Pizza in the final.
Look at Price's boat. Swanson walking over on the far side, but he keeps his foot in it, legs it out, and wins another one.
So 5 consecutive finals as we head into the World Finals for Kent Price. And yes, he would do it one more time. But this time he had to go through Kevin Kinsley, a former champ in the category.
And this time it was Kinsley's boat that got loose, and Price goes sailing into the final.
Kent Price had about a 1/10 of a second on Bob Pizza entering the final. Bob Pizza made up for that 1/10 right at the starting line with a great 0.43 light. But then unfortunately the boat fell well off the pace, and Kent Price brought home his 5th trophy out of the past 6 final rounds, and of course the 07 championship.
There's something about hydros at dusk here at Firebird International Raceway, isn't there? Kent Price qualified number 1 at the final race of the season, then reset low ET of the event 3 times on race day. That black boat was just locked in.
A perfect ending to a perfect season for the 2007 champ.
Kent Price, 2007 Top Alcohol Hydro Champion. Congratulations. What are your plans for 2008?
Well, we've got a great crew and a great sponsor. I think we'd like to come back and try to back up another championship if we could.
How hard is that going to be?
Very difficult because everybody's going to be gunning for you, and there's a lot of good teams out there. So we'll come back and give it a shot, see what we can come up with.
Superman wore the big S on his chest. You're going to have that target on your back all season.
You bet. Everybody's going to be gunning for us, and that's drag boat racing. So we're excited.
Say, the way that boat ran this year, there were a couple of times when that guy looked like he had the big S on his chest.
Spectacular season for Kent Price. Congratulations to him. Kevin Kinsley ends up in 2nd place. John Swanson, who pounded around, definitely made his way to some finals there, ends up in 3rd place after selling the boat a couple of events before the end of the season. When we come back, we'll move to the Flatties. Those guys are always a lot of fun to watch. Stick with us.
Does your gas bill get too hot under the collar?
Yes, it does. Your electricity bill, a bit of a shock. Yes, it is.
So if your energy bills are kept to you, I'll tell you what to do.
You could save up to £325 on home energy bills. Visit uswitch.com now. We're free, impartial, and compare all the home energy providers around.
For great deals on energy bills, visit uswitch.com.
You'll have a blast however much you win at King.com. We've got loads of great puzzles, quizzes and games. Play for pennies or play for free at King.com.
What are houses? Houses are bricks and mortar, property. Over time, houses become homes, full of family, stories, memories. If you're over 55, there's a way of unlocking the equity in your house without having to leave your home. Norwich Union has helped more people understand this than anyone else. To find out more about the features, costs, risks, and impact on any inheritance you leave, speak to your financial advisor or call Norwich Union on 0800 092 5135 for our free information pack.
It's Challenge Churchill time, and here's your host, Paul from Cardiff!
Churchill, what famous phrase beginning with the letters O and Y answers the following question? Are thousands of people challenging you on car insurance every week? Do you need to call a chum, Churchill?
Oh no, because the answer's yeah. Correct! If you've not yet challenged Churchill, call or go online!
Sometimes when the good and bad things come at the same time, you need Payday Now. So call 0871 550 0048 or visit paydaynow.co.uk.
Welcome back to the 2007 season in review with the Lucas Oil IHBA Drag Boat Racing Series. It's time now to feature the top alcohol flat bottoms. Alan, these guys always provide us with a lot of excitement, as you well know. Red Bluff, California is where we'll kick things off. You're looking at Johnny Heidemann. He lined up alongside Tony Polito, and Johnny Heidemann would lay down a blazingly fast pass at 174.66 and backed it up for a world record.
You saw him with the boat kind of sailing down there at the top end. That record was set back in the 90s and finally got reset here first race of the season.
And again, another great battle. Don Boucher this time lined up alongside Johnny Heidemann in the far lane, and Boucher brings home the win, 674, 166 miles per hour.
So Heidemann leaves with the record, Boucher leaves with the trophy, and on to Chowchilla.
The Dons had won it so far. Don Ermshar in the season opener, then Don Boucher at Red Bluff. Now we take a look at Don Ermshar in that far lane, and again lined up next to Johnny Heidemann.
The double 0-1 reaction time by Ermshar, who is kind of the grand old man, if you will, of the category, and at 674 puts another trophy in his case.
We'll go down to San Diego, and Don Ermshar had a spectacular 07 going, locked up the championship here in San Diego. Once again, way out front, and Don Ermshar had been the man all year long, next to Westerfield, who finished in the runner-up spot.
It was interesting when we got into Phoenix, the World Finals at Firebird International. Ermshar actually failed to qualify and then got in as an alternate, but he wasn't around long on Sunday.
Tony Scarlatta, who had a difficult year and a couple of different accidents, had shown up here, and then a big old fireball out of the back of Westerfield's boat.
See, with the capsule open down there, he knows the fire was behind him, but he wants out of there.
Then we go to Don Boucher and Johnny Heidemann. Don Boucher at the World Finals was a machine.
He wasn't going to win the championship, but he did have a shot to win the trophy in the biggest race of the season. That got him in the final.
Boucher with a 679, 166 miles per hour, had really performed flawlessly all day long with the race. Tony Scarlatta here, but Tony Scarlatta not able to make the call after a previous round break inside of the boat. Don Boucher came out and put on a show for the fans, though.
At dusk, the flat bottom sailing across Firebird International Raceway at better than 160 miles an hour, and that capped the alcohol flat bottom season.
Don Ermshar, 2007 top alcohol flat champion. What's the plan for 2008? You made it look easy this year.
Well, our plan is to be the 2008 world champion also. We'll be running all of the races for IHBA, and we'll probably run some races with SDBA and get back out there to represent our sponsors, Lucas Oil and Aluminum Tank and Truck Accessories and Performance Water Meters and Genius Tools.
You know, a lot of folks after 20 years of service get a gold watch. That'll be your 35th year of drag boat racing.
That's right. Won't be any gold watches. I'll go to Walmart and get one of those $6.95 watches. In case I break it, it's not a big loss.
Water resistant?
Of course.
Absolutely. 2007 top alcohol flat bottom champ Don Ermshar went to 6 out of 8 possible final rounds, bringing home the win in 5 of those finals. Congratulations on a spectacular 07 season for the professor of top alcohol flat bottoms. Time now for the big dogs. Top Fuel Hydro. 8,000 horsepower. Nobody really knows. One thing's for sure. They are spectacular, and 9 of the top 25 quickest runs ever made in the history of the sport were set in 2007.
These boats also can be very temperamental. You put that much power on the water, and, well, sometimes you just got to win the war of attrition.
So John Haas, who had a competitor red light against him in the previous round, has it happen again with Greg Tedesco, a multi-time champ in the category, and Haas continues to go forward even though they were struggling with the boat. He had set both ends of the record here at this facility 1 year earlier, and no doubt had a bad boat. They needed to get it to run solid. And unfortunately, while they never did that at Red Bluff, they were still able to capture a win.
2 red lights and then a solo run in the final. It wasn't his best Sunday, but he will take home the trophy.
It was back-to-back wins at the first 2 events for John Haas, the Speed Sports Special Team. Next up, Greg Tedesco would line up next to Daryl Ehrlich in the boat owned by Dennis Gibson.
Now that's a pretty picture. A Top Fuel Hydro doing what it's supposed to do. How about 250 miles an hour in a 501 ET for Tedesco?
And to get into the top 10, you have to run 250.66 miles per hour. That's how tough this category is these days.
Childress on fire going through the lights. You can see it there. The engine expired before it got to the finish line. Still ran 216 plus. That would earn him a spot in the final.
Rex Childress and Greg Tedesco. Tedesco had been a missile throughout the entire event.
Childress's guys unable to make repairs after that explosion, and you saw right there Tedesco knocked the supercharger off before the finish line, but he still won the race.
Now we'll go to Marble Falls on a very hot day. Jared Sylvie now behind the wheel of the boat owned by Dennis Gibson. He lines up next to John Haas, and Haas produces some numbers.
A spectacular side-by-side run. John's 5 flat, holding off Sylvie's 5:04.
And next up, John Haas lines up next to Doug Verstappen. Haas, with an 0:31 reaction time, does his job as a driver and then runs 4:89, 246.
Remember, we saw John Haas in Red Bluff when he was lucky. In Texas, he was very good.
Scott Thompson and Rex Childress here at San Diego in the salt water where so many records have been set.
On the bay at Mission Beach, how about a 4:97 elapsed time? And you saw the belt off early and a big fire down there for Rex Childress.
Of course, everybody trying to stay out of the marsh here with a short shutdown area. Rex Childress now in the far lane. This time, lined up next to John Haas.
And another beautiful side-by-side run, especially if you're driving a Speed Sport Special. How about a 481 to put a cap on the day?
And a 481.0 is good enough just to get you into the top 25 of all time. Glenn Wilson, John Haas square off one more time.
Firebird International Raceway, the Lucas Oil World Finals, and that was a crazy ride for Glenn Wilson, but he did hold on.
522, 180 miles per hour. He would try to get things worked out as they continued on.
Look at the boat on the left side of the screen. I don't know how that thing didn't crash down there. I bet Glenn doesn't know either.
Well, you can see he's the only one out there with that huge wing on the back, and eventually they would do away with that wing as they came back for the next round. Glenn Wilson, Doug Verstappen. Verstappen lights the candles and was out to win. He had a spectacular record here at the World Finals, and he would keep it going.
Glenn Wilson lit the red light. He was a little early on the throttle, fouled away his shot at the trophy. Watch again. The boat on the left side, Glenn Wilson, they took the wing off of it, but, well, I don't believe the wing was the issue with the handling problem. Maybe try something else.
Doug Verstappen was in 3 finals at the World Finals in 3 consecutive years, bringing home 2 wins. But it's John Haas who won the title.
John Haas, 2007 Top Fuel Hydro champion. Congratulations. How about 2008?
Well, 2008, we want to be just like 2007, and obviously we're going to go for it. It's kind of up in the air at this moment how hard we're going to hit it. I guess Lou and I haven't even talked about it, but I'm sure he's got it over there, and we're going to try to do it again.
2007 Top Fuel Hydro champion John Haas. Congratulations to him, Lou and Marianne Osmond, the rest of the Speed Sports Special team, and of course Hall of Famer Famous Amos Satterley, the crew chief there, followed by Jared Sylvie and Glenn Wilson, who round out the top 3 in the Top Fuel Hydro category after 8 national events.
In River Racer, Roger and Keith Sales split the driving and won the championship. Roger Silva in Stock Eliminator, and Bob Crigmore, our modified champ.
Top Eliminator, it's Paul Fontenot. Pro Eliminator, Tim Kelly, and Pro Comp Eliminator, Tony Garrett. Congratulations to all of those champions as well. 07's in the books, and 08 is just around the corner. We hope you join us then. Thanks to all the people that have helped us out. For Alan Reinhardt, I'm Ken Stout. This has been produced by Lucas Oil Studios in conjunction with Speed Channel. We'll see you next year with the Lucas Oil IHBA Dragboat Racing Series.